So, welcome everyone. So, this is a very special treat. So, I met Amit ji, Amit Chakaraborty, uh, about a year back,
Yes, yeah.
slightly more than a year. I was accompanying in Radha Krishna temple and close to Shrewsbury, I think.
Yes, Worcester.
Yeah, Worcester.
Worcester, yes.
So, and it was phenomenal in the sense that he started explaining while he was singing. So I said, wow, that's important because most often people come and they sing and they go. And some people understand, some people don't understand. And also, most of you are all my Tabla students, and what happens is that your main job is to also accompany while you do solo playing. So to understand the soul of Indian classical music and the system behind the ragas, everyone says raga. There are two things, rag and tal. So the rag system is very, very profound and has been coming out for ancient times, which he will explain. And it has certain scales. So, but at the same time, they are not just random scale. There is a particular way you ascend and particular way you descend, and they are divided into 10 classifications, which are called thats. But that classification is for the convenience. You can also go across those thoughts and things like that. So when you play, first thing is that you have to understand the feeling, the bhav of the raga, and that is connected with time. So you will explain why time is important, and also the mood. Every rag has certain mood, and so I think when we accompany, we got to understand that very, very clearly. So, Amit Chakraborty has been learning for a long, long time. He started at the age of 7 and 8 and then went on to work with many great Gurujis. And I'm going to ask him to also describe his journey from the first Guruji and other and how he evolved. So, I'm not going to go into the particular ustads that he learned from. But that's a lifelong journey, right? It's never ending. But initial part is very important, what you guys are doing here. And I think in the Manch Pravesh that we did, we explained how our Gharana is organized. So the same thing, there are Gharanas in Indian classical music. So we want to understand what those Gharanas are and how they differ. So first to understand scale, understand the chalan, how they propagate, and then also what are different styles of things. And then when you have a rag, you have to create a bandish.
Exactly.
So when you create bandish, you have to have a tal. So that's where the tal, a song is put in a particular cycle. And that cycle is what we call as tal. And so all the improvisation, everything has to happen in that tal. So you know a lot about tal. That you guys have been learning dadra, kairwa, rupak, jhap तीन ताल एक ताल चार ताल दीपचंदी झुमरा pancham savari, and then we get into the teen tal, which is 16 beat, the main the ocean of Indian classical rhythm system. But then we have to understand how do we apply, because you can play simple na din din na or dha din na da tin na, but unless you understand the nuances of that. And that's what I think I found Amit is very good in explaining that. And he has also studied that and applied it.
He has also found me, and I have also found Nishikant.
So
It's the birth
so he also does some of the music therapy, right?
Yeah.
You can also explain what is the psychological effect of ragas on human being, especially if you are depressed. You have a raga and suddenly you are jumping up and down. So it definitely has some positive effects. So, and without further ado, I should invite Amit ji to take over and explain to us. And it's very informal, so please feel free to ask him questions. You don't have to wait until he finishes. And I'm sure you have a lot of burning questions because you heard all these people saying, what is all that about? So he can explain all that Okay, Amit ji.
Okay.
Thank you.
First of all, I must thank Nishikant ji was created a brilliant atmosphere, you know. I was just practicing a little bit when I came here. It was absolutely splendid experience for me. The acoustic, the place. You know, our classical music is definitely associated with the place where we are in, but at the same time, you are also creating your own space. The two things are there. But thank you, Nishikant ji, for giving me an opportunity to share my ideas, my thoughts, what I feel with all these people and the kids especially. And I'm really privileged to see that they are taking our music little bit. I think definitely they will carry it forward. That's the most important thing, because they are our next generation. We just should try our level best to share our own knowledge with them. So it's been handed down from guru to shishya, I mean, teachers to students, you know, for thousands of years. So let's start with a little bit raga. What does the word mean, raga? Raga means actually the color and a melodic combinations. Yes, of course. Combinations, some combinations. So the raga, how to form the raga? Now there are two different aspects I just would like to say. And some kids are also playing on tabla. They may ask, well, if we don't have that particular knowledge or that deep knowledge of raga, can't we play on tabla? Yes, you can play. You can play on tabla. But it's a dead skin, you know. So you are trying to make some musical sounds from it. So the matter ends here, the sound. So there, if you want to have a mastery over the sound, you need to get good sound. So you need to get used to some musical sounds. That's what we call swar. S-W-A-R. And brilliantly it's been depicted by Ustad Amit Ali Khan, a great Sharad maestro. If you add the letter I before S-W-A-R, then it's going to be Ishwar. So this is the way we are getting connected with Ishwar, through swar. So it's so beautiful, it's been so beautifully explained by him, you know. So now, that is why even to play on tabla, to do any kind of percussion music or any kind of Indian music, I think all of us need to have a knowledge of sur, raga. So actually what is raga? So I've told you the exact meaning. Well, now let's go a little bit deep. But I always try to be as simple as possible. It's very hard to be simple. It's simple to be hard. I do believe in this, you know. It's very hard. Lots of people say, well, ragas are quite brilliant. They have souls. But the kids who are just, you know, they are initiated into the raga music, they can't understand the soul. Well, that's a huge thing. Well, let's start to make it simple. What is raga? Raga is just nothing. It's a melodic combination. Some notes. I think, I don't know, perhaps some people here know. The C, D, E, F, G, A, B. These are the 7 notes. Basic notes. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si. So this C, D, E, F, G, A, B, actually there are 12 notes, like C, C sharp, D sharp and flats are there. So this C, D, E, F, G, A, B, these are the 7 notes or the 12 notes as I have pointed out. We are trying to make some combinations. But of course on the basis of a grammar that's been taught by our gurus and the tradition. So these combinations we do, we just make raga, hundreds of ragas. And first, raga is being born from thought. And what is thought? And what is the difference between thought and raga? Actually, if we go deep, the body we belong to, there is a skeleton, the skeleton and the muscles, blood, veins. This is human body. So if you go deep, you can find out the skeleton. Go to the X-ray plates, you can have the skeleton. You can just have a look at the skeletons of your brain, of your hands, of your legs, etc. So the skeleton of the raga is thought. So he or she is the child of thought. And it's been said there are 10 thoughts. Okay? People say there are 10 thoughts. Some people say there are more. And some people don't believe in thought system because there are many ragas which have not been approved by the thought. They haven't stemmed from thought. So just if we want to make it simple, we can find out there are 10 thoughts. So let's try to make it simple. Like this is natural sea. Yeah. So the way he's just playing, so he's trying to check whether it is properly on tune or not. So here is the most important motto of mine to say something, because this is also sur. So if you want to tune the tabla, you need to know where you need to have a good sense of sur. Otherwise you cannot tune the tabla. And a distuned tabla is not going to do anything, So you have to tune it properly. So Nishikant, would you please just...
As I hear it, I hear this go a little bit up. So I have to make sure I bring it down.
That's true.
You can hear a little bit. Very little.
Wow, that's fantastic.
What are you tuning it to C or
See, exactly, natural, see, yeah. Exactly.